gets by the outfielders. Here comes Bregman rounding third. It goes all the way to the triangle. Another run in. Here comes Duran. He's trying to score. He's going to score all the way around.
Jarren Duran is an absolute maniac, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monster Territory, brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. A frustrating weekend, but they ended it on a good note here on a wonderful Sunday afternoon at Fenway Park. Beautiful day. And not only did they just end the weekend on a good note, they ended the month on a good note as well. 17-11 for the month of 17-11 for the month of August. 34-18 since the beginning of July. Hey, you know what? You dropped the series here today or this weekend. You picked up the win here today. At least you feel good going into the Cleveland series here over the next few days. Jarren Duran, Jonathan Papelbon, they're talking on the postgame show right now, on the other postgame show on NESN. Well, obviously, they are the main postgame show, of course. But Jonathan Papelbon said it perfectly. Said they needed a spark. And Jarren Duran provided that here today. That guy's a maniac, like I said. Great day for him today. You already saw the video coming into the show. The inside the park home run. Had a double as well. Drove in 3. Had a walk on the day as well. They also said during the broadcast here today, it was the fastest a Red Sox player has been running around the bases in the StatCast era. Did I say Jarren Duran's a maniac? The guy is an absolute freak. Also, they said today on the broadcast, 60 extra base hits, or at least 60 extra base hits, 20 stolen bases, 2 years in a row. The only other 3 Red Sox players to do that was Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, and Tris Speaker, man. Good company. But the first few innings here today, you're thinking, man, is this going to be another quiet day for the offense? Is this going to be another struggle bus here today? But, eventually, yes, they woke up, but, it took them a little bit to get going there. But they eventually woke up. Got to give some shout-outs here today. Seti driving in a run there today on the hustle play, getting safe at first base. Also had a great diving catch here today. Romy also playing some pretty good defense today at second base. Carlos Narvaez, shout-out to him. Had the double there to help set up the 5th inning. Nate Lowe back in the lineup here today, 2 for 4. His numbers are very good right now for the Red Sox. I mean, still a small sample. But, you're thinking to yourself here, holy cow. Nate Lowe, it's a complete turnaround from what he was doing here this year with the Nationals. 10 games, 10 for 31. That's a batting average of .323. Has an .873 OPS. Nate Lowe looking rather comfortable with the Red Sox, playing solid. Lucas Giolito, interesting outing for Giolito here today. A solid one. When you take a look at the final line, you see 6 innings, 1 earned. Had a few strikeouts along the way, but he was pretty wild here today. He got off to a pretty good start, but he started running into some issues, and I was thinking to myself as the game was going on, these are definitely, or this looks like something mechanical going on. It just looked like he lost a feel. Something, I don't know. I don't know what happened, whatever. But he did actually say he was on the NESN postgame show here talking with Papelbon, Jim Rice, and TC, saying that his mechanics just got out of whack. So that confirmed that for me. But he was able to work around it. His stuff looked good here today, despite the walks. And Chapman locking it down here today. But, that's not really surprising. That's not really anything new. We all know how good Aroldis Chapman is, but the Red Sox know how good he is too. And they got an extension done for him. And they got him signed up for next year. There's another option on top of that. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Very happy about that deal. Chapman having one of the best seasons of his career, if not the best season of his career. We still have another month to go. Let's see what the final numbers look like after the season. But as the old saying goes, don't fix what's not broke. And I think that goes for both sides here. The Red Sox, obviously, you got one of the best closers in the game. But for Aroldis Chapman, honestly, I was about to say, you're getting towards the end of your career. But, with how good a shape Chapman's in, and with how hard this guy's still throwing and having one of the best years of his career, honestly, could Chapman go another what is he, 38 now? I think he's 38. Let me double check that. He is 37. He's going to be turning 38 here in about half a year. So, I mean, honestly, this guy looks like he could probably make it to 45. I mean, I don't know. So, but at this point, you are getting closer to 40. And I think for Chapman, why fix what's not broke? I mean, it's obviously working. He has the best walk rate of his career up to this point. You know, he's still getting a good amount of strikeouts, but, you know, not as many as he was, especially in the first half of his career. He just looks like more of a better all-around pitcher this year, right? Limiting those walks, getting that, a guy that's been wild throughout his career, but this is the most under control he has looked in his career. So again, why even go somewhere else at this point? He's comfortable. It's working. Good for Aroldis Chapman. He's absolutely earned this payday here with the performance that he's put up this year. Everybody, we're going to get into everything here today. We're going to break down the offense. We'll break down Giolito. I'll give you more thoughts on the Chapman deal. We'll talk about the Cleveland series coming up. We'll take a look at the standings. I believe the Blue Jays were ahead not too long ago against the Brewers. We'll have to check on that, but we'll check the updated standings here. If you can, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. We are trying to get to 5K by the end of the season. We got 30 days left here. We got 1 month. We're within 300 subscribers. If you could help us get there, I'll love you forever and then some. But everybody, let's dive into it here, shall we? I am seeing a lot of familiar faces here in the chat. George, Locksmart, Emily, Andrew, Julio, Mason, George, Eric, Jared. What's going on here? How we doing, everybody? How we doing? Before I really dive into everything here, we do have a couple of words from our sponsors here today. Let's go talk about one of them. The dog days of summer means it's time for the boys of summer to kick into gear, and the best way to cash in on your baseball IQ is with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Never bet on baseball before? Well, it's simple. You pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code FOUL, that's code FOUL, for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Alrighty, let's talk a little Lucas Giolito, shall we? And like I said at the start of the show, had trouble finding the strike zone. More in the latter part of his outing here today, but overall, only 47% in the zone here today. Had trouble finding that strike zone. And this is where I noticed with Lucas Giolito, that I felt like there was something mechanically, obviously watching him, right? But it was more after his outing when they were panning over to the dugout and he was talking with Andrew Bailey at one point. He was kind of just like going through his motion a couple of times while he was talking with Bailey. So that suggested to me that he was talking something about his release point or whatever it may be. But he ended up saying in the postgame show with Papelbon TC and Jim Rice that there was something rotationally going on with him. So what's good about that is that, that's something that I think gets overlooked quite a bit. We can talk about the velo, we can talk about the stuff, but listen, pitching mechanics, it's basic as it gets. It goes right back to the fundamentals, but it's good when a guy like Giolito here is identifying that issue, right? Because at the end of the day, you could have the best velo, the best stuff, but I mean, if you're not throwing the ball correctly to the best of your ability, right? How your own body moves, well, that stuff's not really going to do anything. So I love that Giolito just has that awareness about himself. So, but despite losing the control later on in his outing. He had a lot of swing and miss on the day, 33% whiff rate overall. He got 8 whiffs on the slider here today. The changeup was looking very good. So, he was able to use that stuff to really help him get through those struggles with the command. He did get off to a good start, like I said. First inning, second inning, third inning, got a few strikeouts, had some help from Seti out in center field, had a nice diving catch. Shout out to him. Fourth inning, this is where things started to unravel a little bit. Gave up a double to Horwitz, who ended up getting caught stealing at third base by Giolito, but then 3 walks after that, and then a wild pitch to Henry Davis. Nick Gonzalez ended up scoring. That was the first run of the game. Got out of it. Fifth inning, another walk. Did get a strikeout as well. But the sixth inning, he did give up another walk, but he was able to, for the most part, have a clean finish to his day here today. Got a couple of strikeouts to O'Neal Cruz, Henry Davis to end his day. Overall, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 6 Ks, 5 walks. Hey, listen, this is what you got to do when you want to be one of the better pitchers on your staff. I've said this millions of times, especially about Garrett Crochet. Even when you're not at your best, you still got to find a way to try and get it done. And Giolito, what a great story he's been this year. And you know what? Let me actually here pull up Giolito when it comes to the rankings overall. Let me take a look-see at the good old wins above replacement leaderboards here. Now, with Giolito, so hold on a second, and this is coming into today. Let's take a look-see. Well, I don't know why Giolito's not coming up here for some reason. Let me just go to his page. And these were the numbers coming into today. ERA at a 3.47. The FIP is higher at a 4.18. But what I think has been the turnaround for Giolito this year, and these numbers aren't including today's outing. It's going to update tomorrow morning. But you can see here, they've reduced the strikeouts, and they've gotten him to a point, as well as Brian Bayo, to kind of get away from those strikeouts a little bit. Work to contact a little bit more. Let the defense work behind you. You can see here, his career average in strikeouts is 9.3 per 9. But this year, it's at 7.5. But the big difference compared to the last couple of, 2023 and 2022, is that he's gotten the walks down. He had right around 3.5 walks per 9 from 22 to 23, and he's down to a little bit below 3 per 9 this year. And he's gotten the home runs down as well. That has been an issue with Giolito in his career. So he's getting more weak contact this year. I think Gio, he's at the point where he's gotten away from just trying to rack up the Ks, you know? He's just becoming that more well-rounded pitcher, right? Letting that defense work, locating more. And that's something he's done very well this year, right? Keeping that fastball up, sliders going in and out, change-ups low in the zone, changing locations, changing eye levels, changing speeds. He just seems like just a solid veteran pitcher this year. I don't need a guy that's going to go out, Crochet, and hopefully Peyton Tolley here in the very near future. I mean, we already saw a glimpse of it the other night, where I'm cool with those guys just bringing the heat. I'm cool with those guys bringing the stuff and blowing you away, but I like these veteran guys in the rotation that they just know how to pitch, Really, to me, that's with Giolito overall up to this point in his career, this is the most he's just looked like just a student of the game and just a veteran in the game. I really like that about Giolito. If they ended up, keeping him around after this season, I know there's the option. As of right now, he's at. That's another thing to pay attention to here. Is 119 and a third innings pitched. Don't forget that option. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, well, let me double check that. Hold on, it might be what I was about to say. We got some breaking news. Walker Buehler and the Phillies are finalizing a deal. Oh man, Walker Buehler. Well, for the Phillies, I'll get back to Giolito here in a second. But remember, they lost Zach Wheeler. That's a big loss. Now, obviously, Walker Buehler is not going to be Zach Wheeler by any means. But you take a look at what the Phillies have been able to do when it comes to their starting pitching, they've been phenomenal. So let's see if the Phillies can get a good game plan for Walker Buehler there. I mean, obviously they've done fantastic there with those group of guys. So let's see if Buehler can figure something out over there. But hey, look at that. Just some breaking news coming in. Walker Buehler heading to the Phillies. But I'm taking a look here with Giolito. So, okay, what I was about to say the wrong thing. I was about to bring up the option for next year. I got it mixed up with this year. There is the mutual option for next year. You know, mutual options are pretty rare. You don't see them get exercised very much, but I actually wonder if this is one of those times where they exercise that. And with Giolito, go have yourself another good season next year. You're comfortable here in Boston. Go after it again for next year. And then, because it seems like both sides are very happy with this relationship right now. He's pitching great. And not only that, but he's been great with the media, a guy that's been good in the clubhouse. But then again, I think from Giolito's point of view, would it maybe benefit him a little bit more to go kind of build that track record a little bit more, because obviously he had, the elbow surgery and a couple of years before that wasn't pitching very well. All right. Remember, you go back to, he bounced around between three teams in 2023, the White Sox, the Angels, the Guardians. So I wonder if maybe racking up another solid year might be in his best interest. Get a couple of good solid years under his belt after the elbow surgery. Red Sox, you keep a solid arm in your rotation for next year. This is, I think, one of the times where the mutual option maybe could get exercised. We'll see. But back to the point. I'd be very happy if Giolito ended up sticking around for longer after this year. So, where were we? Overall, good day for Giolito here. Good day for Giolito. Let's kind of get on to the bats here. Let's get to the bats. And taking a look at where we're at for time. Yes, we have enough time to talk about some bats. And obviously, the story of the day here was Jarren Duran. The inside the park home run, but let's build up to that. Now, first inning, Duran, and we just talked about this the other night, and not only did Duran give a spark here for the Red Sox today, but looks like maybe he gave himself a bit of a spark as well. He has been cold over the last 2 to 3 weeks or so. Right off the bat, 35th double on the year. Weren't able to capitalize on that, though. Second and the third innings, man. This is where you're looking at this Red Sox lineup, and you're wondering to yourself, man, is this going to be another one of those days where you're leaving runners on, you're not able to capitalize? Because they had 4 strikeouts between the second and the third inning. Keller was looking pretty good early on. And take out that inside the park home run from Duran, and that defense out there did not help him out here today. And Keller, could end up having himself a pretty decent day if it wasn't for that. But then the Pirates, they did score. We already talked about that. The wild pitch in the 4th inning. They took the 1-0 lead. Duran and Bregman, they got back on in the 4th inning, but weren't able to capitalize. But then the 5th inning, they woke up here. Romy ground ball to second base. Got some help from Nick Gonzalez with the throwing error. Narvaez, shout out to him with the double there, moved him up to third base. Roman with the ground out. Even when Roman's having a quiet day, he's still contributing. That tied it up at 1. Bregman hit by pitch, and then Duran with the shot to the gap, getting by Canario and Cruz out there. I'm not sure what the heck happened there. That was just a bad route from Canario, but then Cruz as well. You're kind of wondering just what happened on that play. Just got by him, and Duran, he had more than enough time. It wasn't that he slid home for the inside the park home run, and it was like this bang-bang play at the plate. He scored with all the time in the world, and he was just standing there, and he was all pumped up. He was all fired up. Duran, that was probably that was like the easiest inside the park home run I think I've ever seen. So, 6th inning. Adding a little bit more here. Lowe with the base hit, Romy with the base hit, Seti with the soft grounder. Runner ended up scoring. They made it 5-1 at the time. Against the bullpen, Canario did have the home run against Justin Slayton. Still looks like Justin Slayton is still looking to fully find his groove. Hopefully the month of September, he's got a full month here to really work on some things, iron some things before we get to the postseason. And Garrett Whitlock, little messy from Whitlock. Gave up a couple of base hits, walked Reynolds, but a huge strikeout to Canario. Very up and down day, yin and yang day for Canario. Had the big home run, but then the defensive mishap out there. And then a couple of strikeouts there today for Canario. Chapman locking it down. Couple of strikeouts, 27th save on the year. And let's talk about that really quick here. Let's talk about Chapman getting the extension here. And again, I think this was the right move. Absolutely do. I think, the way he was pitching, and you had been getting these questions a little bit from the media, like, hey, what's going on with Chapman? You guys talking about an extension? And they ended up getting it done. Here. So taking a look here. The Red Sox have agreed to an extension with Aroldis Chapman. They'll keep the star reliever in town for the 2026 season, according to Francis Romero. Romero adds that the deal includes an option for the 2027 season. It's a vesting mutual option. Chris Cotillo goes on to report that Chapman is guaranteed $13.3 million by the deal, and that if the Wasserman client throws enough innings to vest his 2027 option, he'll earn $26 million over the 2 seasons. So, taking a look here, let's go to the payroll. And I've just got to check on the time. We're still good for time here, ladies and gentlemen. But looking here at the deal, so next year he'll get that $13 million for the salary, but the AAV could end up being 13.3 overall. And so he's got that mutual. He's got the vesting option. What is? Do we have word on the innings? I don't know if Cotillo, if he put out, or what were the terms? Let me pull up the article here. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so this is on Mass Live. The deal, according to an industry source, is worth a guaranteed $13.3 million in 2026. Also includes a vesting option for 2027 that could bring the value to $26 million. Based on innings pitched. Well, I wonder what those innings are. I mean, Chapman, every year, he's been very durable. So, over the last 3 seasons, he's averaged just a little under 60 innings per season. He's averaged right around 55 to 60. So, I wonder if it's, I don't know, maybe a minimum of 50. I mean, let's see. But he's been very durable. I would imagine that vesting option will end up kicking into gear. But overall, I think it's a great move. The Red Sox are officially in this competitive window, and with how good he's been, with how good of a fit he's been, like I said, why fix what's not broke? Listen, we're all very excited about what's going on with the Red Sox for this year, and yes, our eyes are on what's going on right now, but 2026 is going to be just as big of a season, right? You got free agency coming up. Obviously, you brought in Bregman last offseason, and there's going to be more opportunities this coming offseason to beef up the team, whether they go make a trade for someone like a Joe Ryan, maybe they go sign a guy, who knows? Could someone like Framber Valdez or Dylan Cease be on the table? Could they go after another bat, say a Kyle Schwarber? This is going to be a big offseason. Last offseason was a big offseason, right? They needed to have a good offseason, and they did. But you want to keep building on that. And so this is a great move to really help solidify that team early, right? You're getting some early shopping done here. I think it's a great move from the Red Sox. And Chapman, the way he's pitched this year, absolutely deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. Been phenomenal overall. Everybody, we are going to check on the standings. We are going to get to the Cleveland series. We'll go over the matchups for that one. And before we do, though, one more word from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
FT fam, welcome to the world's most comfortable swimwear. For a moment, we are talking about Fair Harbor. We actually have some show and tell today. This is the liner that you're working with inside of the shorts and the bathing suits.
You know what the best part is about this, Scott?
What?
They have a lot of different...
Okay, KP, this is your first Arena Club experience. We're going to open a slab pack together. So first off, we're going to buy one of those $25 slab packs, and we get to see what is in the pack. There it is. The Grail, which is the best card in the pack and worth the most. There are some other cards that we're chasing, and you can see the entire lineup so that you know what you're in the running for. There's the Yamamoto signed card. Now, let's open up our pack and see how we do. We have ourselves a really cool graphic, and then a Shohei Ohtani 50-50 card from last year. What do you want to do? Should we sell it right back to them for 16, or should we keep it?
You should give it to me. I'll keep it.
Good answer. Fine, I will give it to you. Since the Blue Jays didn't get Ohtani, you can get this 50-50 card instead. Use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L, to get yourself 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase. Yes, you get to keep that card if you want it. They send it to you. F-O-U-L at arenaclub.com/foul.
Alrighty, let's get to the rest of the show. Before we do, though, if you are watching on Nesson, we do have to cut it short right there. We are out of time for today. If you want to catch the rest of the show, coming over to YouTube, coming over to Monster Territory, and see what I got to say. But everybody on Nesson, thanks for watching here today. We'll see you tomorrow night. So, let's get to the standings. Let's get to the standings here, shall we? What is going on here? What is going on? Let's take a look-see. And I believe the Blue Jays ended up pulling it. And again, man, that's so... This weekend, again, we ended it on a good note. You ended it on a good note, but holy cow, man. You could have gained a couple of games on the Blue Jays this weekend, right? The Blue Jays pulled it out here today against the Brewers. The Red Sox pulling it out here today. So the Blue Jays, they dropped the first two to the Brewers. The Red Sox dropped the first two to the Pirates. So the Blue Jays and the Red Sox just completely matched up this past weekend. You could have gained a couple of games if you had pulled off a sweep. Oh, it's so frustrating. Even if you just won another game, it would have been a game closer. Man. Still 3.5 out of the division. The Yankees are 3 out. They did lose here today. They have tomorrow off. They're going to Houston. And then the Red Sox are right back at it again tomorrow to kick off September against the Guardians, who are also fighting for their postseason lives here. They're fighting for a wild card spot here too. They ended up dropping their game here today, so they actually fall a game further back. They're now 4 back of the third wild card spot here. And the Mariners, they ended up pulling out a win here today as well. The Rangers, they're getting hot here. They've won 4 straight. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're 3 back of the third wild card. The Royals, they're playing pretty well as of late. They're still 3 back. They're idle there tomorrow. The Rangers are playing the A's right now. And the Rangers have a 3-0 lead in Sacramento. So, but yeah. But the Red Sox, they're in a comfortable spot right now with the second wild card. The Yankees just ahead by half a game, so that was good to gain a game on the Yankees there. So, but yeah, big series against the Guardians coming up. And let's take a look at the pitching matchups. Let's take a look-see. And we got Brian Bayo on the mound for... I believe Brian Bayo's on the mound. I don't know why the Red Sox starters have not been announced. I don't know why they haven't been announced here. But we got Parker Messick going for the Guardians in Game 1. Slade Ciccone going for Game 2. And then neither starter has been announced for Game 3 before the Red Sox. But we got another West Coast series coming up this weekend. We're gonna be late here again next weekend, or at least next Friday night. But right now, this is going to be an interesting series because Fangraphs, they're projecting Kyle Harrison to be starting Game 3 against Logan Allen. Crochet lined up for Game 2. So I would imagine Peyton Tolley is going to be sticking around. I don't see why. I don't know. I don't see why he would get sent back down. I mean, he looked great. So, yeah, I don't know. So I would imagine Peyton Tolley is gonna be in the rotation moving forward. So, what an interesting matchup that would be. Right now, Fangraphs, they have Peyton Tolley matched up against an old friend in Eduardo Rodriguez. Man, oh man. Have the Red Sox gone up against Eduardo Rodriguez since he ended up leaving the Red Sox? Maybe one start against the Tigers? I can't remember. But that's an interesting matchup. You're a homegrown lefty going up against one of your old top prospects, another lefty, in Eduardo Rodriguez. Interesting matchup. But then, it looks like, Brian Bayo going to be for game 1, Crochet for game 2, and then maybe Kyle Harrison for game 3. But taking a look at the matchup here for tomorrow, again, I don't know why it has not been announced on the Red Sox website. I would imagine that's going to be updated here soon, but none of the Red Sox have gone up against Parker Messick. So let's actually pull up here. What is the dealio with Parker Messick? On Fangraphs, they had him as the 4th overall prospect in the system. And then 49th overall on their top 100. Let me actually pull up the Guardians' top prospects here. So let's see where Baseball Savant, or not Baseball Savant, goodness, MLB Pipeline has him. They have him as the number 12 prospect in their system. And he's going to come at you 6 foot, 225 pounds. They give him a 50 on the slider, a 50 on the fastball. He's got a good changeup at a 60 grade, throws a decent amount of strikes. Taking a look at the numbers this year with Messick, he got called up recently. He has looked good. Taking a look at his last start, he went 7 innings, only 4 hits allowed, 0 earned against the Rays. So he's looking sharp. First start against Arizona on the road, 6 2/3. He did give up 7 hits, but only 1 earned, 6 Ks. I mean, very small sample, but he's looking good. Taking a look at his numbers down in the minor leagues this year, he was only at AAA. He made 20 starts, 3.47 ERA, 3.69 on the FIP, just under 11 strikeouts per 9, 3.8 walks per 9. So, a guy that's been looking good. So, this maybe could end up being a tough matchup here, right? You haven't seen him before. He's off to a hot start, pitching well. Let's see. But Brian Bayo, he's been very consistent. Very consistent, very sharp. His last couple of outings, he just keeps on racking up those quality starts. Bayo being Bayo. Let's see if he can keep it going here tomorrow. But this could be a tough matchup. Tough matchup against a rookie pitcher that is looking good himself, just like Peyton Tolley. But everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. It is Sunday evening. Go enjoy the rest of your evening. Go do what you got to do. Go eat some dinner. Go spend some time with family. Go relax before... I would imagine most of you are back to the grind tomorrow, going back to work. I'm sorry to bring up that news. I'm sure a lot of you are not excited about that one, but go have yourself a good start to the week tomorrow. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. Post-game show, back at it again. But I actually got to get to work on a video for the main channel. So I'm going to go take a little break here and get right back to work. So have yourself a great night, everybody. Thank you for coming on by. All the familiar faces, Emily, Joe, George, Andrew, Danny, Doc Jazz, Julio, Polar, God's Gift, Mike, Brownie, George. Did I say that? Austin. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night.